Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another new movie review. Today we're going to be talking about Red Christmas. Really quick, before I get into the review, I want to say a quick thank you to my creepy patron peeps. Thank you so much for your support. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can head on over to my Patreon page. The link is in the description. There will also be a clickable link at the end of the video. Alright, so Red Christmas is about a slightly dysfunctional family that has gathered for Christmas when an unexpected visitor shows up claiming to be the son of the mother of the family, played by Dee Wallace. When the family rejects the stranger, he comes back and begins killing the family one by one. So let's get right into what I liked about Red Christmas. The first thing I really liked was the fact that the characters were developed actually pretty well. Like, there's a lot of characters to deal with here. You have the mother, like I said, played by Dee Wallace. You have her brother. Then she has four children, two of which have spouses also, and I think that's everybody. Yeah, so there's a lot of characters going around, and obviously some are more developed than others, obviously. But I think all of them are actually like developed pretty well, even the ones that end up dying, you know, first and they don't get as much screen time. You still know a little bit about them, which is really impressive for having this big of a cast. And they do a really good job of showing the family's relationship with each other, and it's just a matter of showing rather than telling. So when you see them getting ready for Christmas dinner and getting ready to open presents and do all this stuff, all the little interactions between the different members of the family, you understand their relationship. And like I said, they're slightly dysfunctional. Two of the daughters don't see eye to eye. They don't get along. They're kind of like polar opposites. One is pregnant and very wild. She drinks, she smokes. Her and her husband, you know, steal away for a little bit to have sex in the laundry room or something like that. All while she's pregnant, like I said. And then you have the other one who is married to a priest, and, well, not a priest, I guess, and so I don't know what he is. He's got the collar though. So he's something, pastor maybe. They can get married, right? I don't know. So the other sister is married to a pastor or whatever, and she's trying to conceive and has been unsuccessful, and she's very straight-laced and things like that. So they clash a lot. And you can see how Dee Wallace's character is, as the matriarch of the family, she's kind of the glue that holds the family together. Like, they're all there for her, basically. But they do a really good job of showing you all of that within their interaction. So, you know, the exposition really is not that long. They cram a lot into the first, like, 15 minutes of the movie. So, which could have been a bad thing, but it ended up working really well, I think. There's also a really cool use of lighting in the movie. As it is a Christmas movie, you get a lot of Christmas lights and decorations everywhere, obviously. You know, the lights are off and the only thing you kind of see are the reflection of the Christmas lights and decorations and things like that. So it almost kind of reminded me of the Mask of the Red Death a little bit, where, you know, each room that we're passing through in that story is a different color. And obviously, within Edgar Allan Poe's story, it means something, it represents something. But in different parts of the house, you see different colored lights kind of reflecting through the windows and stuff. So one room is like pink, one room is blue and green, one room is red. I didn't really kind of pick out any meaning in the use of the color, so I don't know if it actually meant anything. It may not have, and it may just been kind of like a stylistic choice, but it looked nice is what I'm trying to say. Just because it didn't mean anything doesn't mean it's not cool. As far as the kills go in the movie, super cheesy but awesome. Like, it's like cheesy in like the 80s slasher kind of way. Just ridiculous kind of kill that you wouldn't see in real life anywhere, you know, not just simple stab him to death or anything. It's like cut him in half with an axe or something, like right down the middle. Crazy stuff like that, but that's fun. Especially with like a Christmas slasher, there's kind of that element of fun in there, as disturbing as that sounds, but the kills make it more fun. I do like, again, I'm not sure if this was meant to be implied in the movie, but I got the feeling that like the women in the family were like the strong points of the movie. It was really about the women, and the men in the family are pretty useless for various reasons. So you have the husband of the pregnant one. I'm sorry if I can't remember all of their character names because there's a lot of them. I think it's like his name is Scott or something. I don't know. It's the husband of the pregnant one. He is obviously very similar to his wife. He's just thinking about sex, or he's inebriated. So he's thinking about drinking, smoking. So he's kind of useless in that way. You have Dee Wallace's brother, the kid's uncle, who is actually the only, he's actually the only one in the movie that makes any smart decisions, but he's kind of, you know, you can tell he always listens to Dee Wallace because everyone's bad decisions overpower his, and he kind of just lets it happen. Then you have the pastor guy who is, they make it very clear that he is gay. He keeps checking out the other sister's husband and stuff. That doesn't go anywhere in the movie, and I don't feel bad spoiling it because it doesn't, and you know, it doesn't amount to anything in the movie. It's just kind of something they establish in the first 15 minutes. But he's also very fearful and scared. So when things start happening, he doesn't really do anything unless somebody tells him to, unless his wife tells him to, unless Dee Wallace tells him to. So he's very fearful and doesn't take charge. And then you have the only son in the family who is mentally handicapped. So again, he doesn't really do much unless he's given instruction to do so. And the ones giving instructions are usually Dee Wallace's character or one of the sisters. So I like that there was like that element that like the women really rule the family. So let's get into what I didn't like about Red Christmas. It was super chaotic once stuff started happening. There was a whole lot of like running out of the house and hiding in the shed, running back into the house, running to this room, running to that room, running to the cars, running back into the house. It was super all over the place, and it seemed super choppy, and I think the editing may have had a part in that. It just felt very like chaotic. It felt like the characters were running around aimlessly almost, and there were times where they kind of contradicted themselves. Like the characters would make a decision to do something, or they would tell a character to do something, and then 2 seconds later they're telling them to do another thing. So that one I couldn't tell. It's like the editing could be part of it, but the writing could have also played a part in that as well. So once stuff started happening and people started dying and they started going into survival mode, it started to feel less cohesive as a movie. It felt a little bit messy. And some of the dialogue of it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. So I won't spoil what's happening when Dee Wallace says this, but there's a moment where she's apologizing to her brother and she says, "I'm so sorry, bro." Like literally that's what she says, "I'm so sorry, bro." And it was just like totally out of nowhere. It made no sense. Like she didn't talk like that at all for the whole movie. I was like, she never once called him bro or anything. Like we knew he was her brother, but it's like, you know what I mean? It just didn't make any sense, and it felt kind of silly and out of place. Like even if this movie was meant to be a horror comedy, it wasn't that type of horror comedy. It wasn't like silly. You know what I mean? And that line was silly. And like I kind of mentioned with the pastor obviously being gay, that there was stuff like that and other kind of character traits that they established that didn't really end up coming into play anywhere else. So it just felt a little bit, you know, so it's like, since the whole pastor checking out his sister-in-law's husband didn't come into play anywhere else except in the beginning of the movie. So, and there was like, not like huge long scenes devoted to that, but there were little moments devoted to that, and it was kind of just like, why did we establish that? Do you know what I mean? So was Red Christmas worth watching? Meh. It wasn't horrible, like I've heard a lot of people saying it was. I don't think it was horrible, but it wasn't the best either. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Definitely not gonna watch it again, but I wouldn't not recommend you watch it at least once. If you're interested in seeing it, go ahead and check it out. On IMDb, it has a 4.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes is 44% across the board, critic and audience score, and then Roger Ebert hasn't. They haven't reviewed it over there. Found this on Amazon Video, but I think it might have, don't quote me on this, was it on Shudder? I can't remember if it was. May have been, I don't know. But I definitely found it on Amazon Video, and I think it was also available on YouTube to rent as well. So if you've seen Red Christmas, let me know in the comments section down below what you thought about it. If you want to follow me on social media places and be friends, you can find all that info in the description box. You can also find me on my blog at nightmaremaven.com as a contributing writer at morereiallybeautiful.com, and on patreon.com/nightmaremaven if you want to check it out / support the channel. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday. Excuse me. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.